Hey y'all, it is Kanika popping back in with another video. So for this week, let's talk about decluttering, the art of decluttering. Now, if you are new here, I am a professional organizer. Think Marie Kondo, the home edit. That's exactly what we're doing. We're decluttering our client spaces, we're organizing our client spaces, and then we are making them look nice. That is what our business is all about. Tidied by K, which is a home organizing company based out of Atlanta, Georgia. So with that being said, I want to focus this video on decluttering. I have so many clients who are just completely overwhelmed with decluttering. They have so much stuff, they don't know where to start. Clutter in their home kind of gives them a little bit of anxiety. They're not as functional or productive as they would like to be. Things in their home are not as accessible. The systems are pretty much non-existent, and it is because they are overwhelmed by the clutter and they don't have a solid process to declutter in a way that feels good to them, in a way that is not going to leave them feeling overwhelmed or just dreading the entire process. So if any of that sounds like it is you, like I'm speaking directly to you, you want to make sure to stick around for this entire video, because I'm going to be dropping some very tangible, some very user-friendly tips that you can implement on your decluttering journey. So let's just go ahead and dive in. Before I get too far ahead though, if you find this video helpful, go ahead and like. Also engage with me on the comments. Y'all ask me questions, talk to your girl, leave comments. I will respond to every single person that leaves a comment. And then do me a solid, go ahead, subscribe to my channel and hit that notification bell so that you can be notified every single time I post a new video. Okay, so before I dive into some of the more tangible things that you can implement to start your decluttering journey, I want to talk about probably the most important aspect of the entire process. And that is the way you think about decluttering, right? The way that you feel when the concept of letting go kind of comes up. We have to address that part. We have to work to reframe your thinking when it comes to decluttering. If I say, okay, it's time to declutter, or it's time to pare down, and you immediately get overwhelmed, or you immediately get a little bit stressed out, or you just dread the entire process of it all, then this is going to be the most important part of this video. So listen up, I promise. I'm not just blowing fluff at you. This is legit stuff. You just have to really be, open to hearing a different perspective as it pertains to decluttering. Now, when I say decluttering, I am not meaning that you need to get rid of things that you absolutely love, to get rid of the things that you're currently using or you like to use, or to get rid of the things that you want, right? That is not what decluttering means. Decluttering is the process of creating space in your home, right? When you are being more intentional about the things that you love, use, and need, you want to make sure that they have their own space, right? You want to make sure that they are accessible and that you can function with them and you can function with them with ease, right? That is the whole point of decluttering. When you have a lot of clutter kind of around, impeding on your environment, impeding on the items that you actually want to use, it makes it harder for you to enjoy the space. And so when you focus on decluttering properly, meaning you're working to create space for those things that you love, use, and need, it's a little bit easier to be objective throughout the process of letting go or paring down. And so that's the reframe, right? The reframe is to focus on creating space for the things that you absolutely love, use, and need by getting rid of the things that don't serve you, by getting rid of the things that are not truly intentional within the space. That is the reframe. I want you to keep listening to that part of this video, right? Reframing the way you think about decluttering is going to help you be successful in your decluttering journey long term. Okay, so now that we have addressed, the reframing of how you think about decluttering, and you're kind of working on shifting your mindset, it's time for some of the more tangible things that you can do as it pertains to decluttering in a way that is going to set you up for success without all of the overwhelm and anxiety and stress and so on and so forth. So tip number one is, y'all, start small. Now, I know, there's the Netflix show with Marie Kondo, and she says to pull everything out, right? Start with the specific category and pull everything out. Now, this will work if you have a process, if you have, built up a little bit of endurance as it pertains to decluttering, if you don't get decision fatigue, it will work and it can be successful and you can fully declutter a space. However, if you struggle with decluttering, if you struggle with making a lot of decisions, if you don't declutter often and don't have an actual decluttering plan or process, it is going to be more stressful than you probably would like to sign up for, and you may not be able to successfully complete that decluttering project or that space or category that you have just pulled all out. So my recommendation is to always start small. The power behind starting small is that you are going to build up your endurance to decluttering. You are going to build up your skills to make decisions on your things more objectively and more strategically, right? You are going to develop just more so a process for how to declutter in a way that feels good for you. That's what happens when you start small. It's going to allow you to develop some of those mini win cycles. Now, when I say mini win cycle, that is kind of like the snowball effect, right? When you think about like a snowball kind of going down a hill, as it goes down a hill, it picks up more snow and it gets bigger and it gets bigger. That's the process of mini win cycles. You start small with decluttering and you get good at it, and then you do a bigger space, and then you get better at it, and then you do a bigger space in terms of decluttering, and now by that time you have a decluttering process. So you've developed all of these mini wins to get you to the bigger decluttering projects or spaces in your home. So I always advocate for starting small. The second thing that I want you to do when it comes to decluttering, especially when you get a little overwhelmed or you just don't enjoy the process of decluttering, is to set a timer. Now, I have what is called the power of 30, which means all you literally need is 30 minutes. 30 minutes a day. Put on a podcast, put on your music, Pandora, Spotify, whatever, and set a timer and get to work. Again, you're starting small, so 30 minutes is more than enough time for you to go through a small category or a small space and fully declutter the things that are in that space, right? And the power behind the power of 30 is that you only have to do something for 30 minutes and then you can reset and do something else. The idea behind this is that you are going to execute this process on a daily basis to tackle a space or category within your home until it's fully decluttered. So the goal is not to fully declutter every single space in your home or every category in 30 minutes because that's not realistic. The idea is that you're only dedicating 30 minutes with your timer to get through certain things. And if you start a space that is a little bit bigger, right, or it has a little bit more clutter, you still only have to do 30 minutes, right? So even if it's not fully done by the end of the 30 minutes, which it likely would not be if it's a bigger space or category, you just know, I just got to get through 30 minutes and then I'm going to come back tomorrow when I have energy to do another 30 minutes within that same space. Setting yourself up for success looks like I only have to do this for 30 minutes. I'm not going to reserve my entire weekend to do this because that's not realistic and I'm not going to enjoy it and it's going to stress me out and I probably won't finish it. That's what failure looks like, setting yourself up for failure. 30 minutes, everyone has 30 minutes to spare within their day. And if you get in the habit or a good practice of every single day for 30 minutes, I'm going to declutter a space or category in my home, you can be successful. And it's going to kind of omit that overwhelm and that anxiety because there's a time limit. Like there is a definite time that you are stopping this entire process to reset and go do something else that you enjoy or something else that you just have to get done at home. I've actually created a resource called the Power of 30 Guide that kind of walks you through decluttering every space in your home, right? It gives you a blueprint. It allows you to kind of establish your rules or your parameters, which I'm going to talk about in the next tip, but it kind of gives you a process to follow so that you can declutter in a way that, reduces the overwhelm or omits the overwhelm, gives you, goals or objectives to meet, and it gives you a process that a professional organizer implements for her home, but then also her client spaces. So if that's something that you feel like you need, I'm gonna link it in the description below for you to just go ahead, download the resource, and then you can be on your way to declutter. Y'all, it is gold. Again, 30 minutes is all you need a day to really, create some function in your home by letting go and creating more space for the things that you actually love, use, and need in your home. Okay, tip 3 is to establish rules or create parameters before you start decluttering. Before you start decluttering, it is going to be more advantageous for you to establish parameters. The reason being, 1, it's going to allow you to be more objective throughout the process of letting go within that space or that category. But 2, it's going to help you move faster because now all you have to do is apply that item to the rules that you already have pre-established, right? That's powerful. That is so powerful, and it's something that people skip that you shouldn't skip. Now, in process, like in, working the process, what this would look like is, suppose you are decluttering in your closet, right? You could establish a rule that says, if I have not worn this thing in X amount of years, I am going to let it go. Another rule could be, if it is damaged, if it has a stain, if it is holey, I'm going to let it go. Establish another rule that says, if it's just not comfortable, if I don't like wearing it, if I don't like the way it looks, if I don't like the way it feels, I am going to let it go. Those are going to be rules that are pre-established that make it easier for you to make a decision and for you to make that decision confidently because you already thought through the parameters before you started the process of decluttering. It kind of nips all of those hypothetical if-then scenarios out of the way, and it allows you to be objective with the goal of decluttering and creating space for the things that you love, all while doing it quickly and again without the overwhelm. So that's the power of establishing parameters. Don't skip this step. Get a piece of paper, write them down, and get to work with letting go. Okay, tip number 4 I think is really, really important, and that is to get the stuff out of your home, right? Don't let stuff sit and linger around in the space because that is kind of like enticing for you to sometimes go shop the things that you are decluttering or just kind of never get it out of your space. And so that's what I mean. Don't let stuff linger. When you are decluttering, put things in black bags, right? I like black bags opposed to, the white or the clear bags because you can't see inside of it. It's like you're getting rid of it for good, right? You decluttered it for a reason. You're intentionally creating space for the things that you absolutely love, use, and need. There's no reason for the things that you have put in these black trash bags to kind of entice you to kind of stick around any longer than what they have already. So as you're decluttering, throw those things in black trash bags, and then once you are done decluttering with those things, they have got to go. They can't sit around in the house. They can't sit by the door. Don't stuff them in the garage. Don't put them in your trunk and leave them in the car for months on end before you let them go. Once you finish decluttering, your decluttering session is not complete until you get rid of it, right? Until you part ways with this. Dropping stuff off at a donation center, or even just taking the concerted effort to call a company or organization to come pick up your donatable items, maybe a couple of days later, or even sometimes a week later. That is going to be sufficient. However, you don't want to, finish your decluttering process and just let stuff sit and linger within your home. All right, y'all. So those are the tips that I'm going to leave you with as it pertains to decluttering any space in your home without the overwhelm, without the stress, without the anxiety, but also doing it in a way that feels good, feels doable, and is going to leave you with some actual tangible results that you are looking for. Now, before you sign off, do me a solid, go ahead and leave a comment in the comment area on which space or category you are going to start with when it comes to decluttering. Y'all, again, this is going to be probably the most important part of your organizing journey, is learning to let go, and learning to let go in a way that is strategic and intentional. That is it for today. Like this video if you found it helpful. Leave that comment. Let me know what space you are going to be tackling first. And if you are not already, you already know what to do. Go ahead and subscribe to our channel and hit that notification bell so that you can be notified every single time we post a new video. All right, good people. I will see you guys in the next video. Peace.